There are some wild surprises hidden in the woods that humans have no idea about.
I immediately can tell this isn't human because it's very small, and it also doesn't have the formed chin and cranium of a human. Its head is a very different shape.
Bizarre creatures, giants, spiders, aliens, ghosts, and whatnot. They're all waiting for you to come and find them. So, buckle up and join us as we uncover nature's most jaw-dropping mysteries. Have you heard about the Mexican aliens? They're pretty famous, and in Mexico, it's almost normal to stumble upon one every now and then. But here's the weird part. Someone found one of these aliens far, far away from where they usually show up. This one was deceased and lifeless when a guy discovered it in a jungle, and he quickly alerted the authorities about it. Unfortunately, they didn't take a serious action. Probably they were trying to avoid unnecessary panic. But of course, it was too late. The video hit the internet and everyone couldn't stop discussing it. Toy to play. These kids got super excited when they ran into a fallen tree with a branch that looked just like a doll. Innocent buddies thought that nature had gifted them a cool toy, but as they got closer, everything changed. What they thought was a toy turned out to be a real, lively creature that had just woken up from its nap. But wait, it gets even crazier. When they swung the camera around, they spotted another one of these creatures standing nearby, ready to say hello. Now, this gives us all a solid reason to believe that aliens are real, and they sure exist.
Oh my God! No! Run! Run!
Running for life. If you are scared of cannibals, you might want to skip this one. This young man was followed by a cannibal in a jungle, and the whole encounter was just too spooky. The eerie creature would stop when he stopped, and start walking whenever he did. Now, that's a terrifying game to play. It just didn't only happen to one person, but the exact same thing happened to another one far away. Here is the footage of it. This guy was chased by a cannibal too and was running for his life in fear and fright. However, it didn't give up its hunt that easily and kept chasing him as long as it could. Creature in spotlight. How daring the person must be who saw an alien walking in the forest, and instead of hiding or running away, he just stood there and alerted it with his flashlight. Because let's be real, if we were there, we would have been screaming at the top of our lungs. The alien too kept passing on as if it was very normal for it to be spotted, and then recorded with flashlights on. That was one very unusual and rare encounter. The world's really moving in a very mysterious direction, and we're all terrified. Ruggy Giant. This unidentified creature lurked in the deepest core of a jungle and was found by local visitors. It had long, dark hair, a body of massive size, and skin that was as thick as a black rug. If you're thinking right now that it might just be a bear or an ape, hold that thought, because here's another angle in which you can clearly see a kid standing by its side to have a picture. I don't think that a bear would ever chill out like that and have a picture clicked with a kid so calmly. The chances of that happening are near to zero. So maybe this creature is something else, something beyond our imagination.
What is that?
Red Beast. You won't believe this. An odd, weird-looking creature was spotted flying through the trees in a forest, and it was nothing like we've ever seen before. This huge reddish beast had leathery wings, but no feathers at all. It totally reminded people of the Kong Maata from African folktales. Legends had even started saying it was Congo Mata in real life. What if it's true and all the stories and myths are coming to life? I mean, that's kind of scary to think about. Just imagine if all those creatures from tales started showing up in our world. What would it look like? I'm not gonna lie, it gives me the chills. Hulk roars. Hulk wasn't just a fictional character in comics, but it was real. Here's recorded footage of it. An explorer had to hide himself behind the grass when he caught a glimpse of this massive giant walking around in the jungle. In the first few minutes, he thought he was safe and it didn't notice him. But he was wrong, because after a moment, it fiercely turned towards him and knew exactly where he was. It even made these aggressive roars and noises and looked very, very angry. The video ended there, leaving everyone wondering what had happened next, and if that man managed to survive or not. TRex. This giant skeleton was discovered in the Amazon, and it's believed that it belonged to a Tyrannosaurus Rex. As soon as it came to the surface, people visited it and clicked many pictures standing with it. And a few of them even started debating with each other. Some said that it was a fake man-made model and not at all real, and the others argued that it was real. We too are trying to investigate it, and for now, we'll make you the judge. Let us know what you think about it. The Eyeless. Here's another one from Australia. This creepy buddy has 4 thin legs and a head shaped like a horse, but with no clear features. No matter how closely I looked, I wasn't able to find its ears and eyes. Talking about the body, it has a black skin, but is full of thread-like white hair that are so long that they're flying in the air. That's without a doubt the weirdest thing I ever saw. There must be lots of questions going on in your mind as well. Like, what the heck is that? How does it even see without eyes? Is it dangerous or harmless? And most importantly, why isn't the world talking about it? Vanished explorers. Those of you who believe that dinosaurs are now a thing of the past, you might want to think again. Maybe they still exist, but we humans haven't seen them because they like to remain hidden. Still not convinced? Well, here's some proof. In 2019, a group of explorers saw this huge dinosaur wandering around in the Congo Basin. It slowly walked through the woods and made those scary noises that sent shivers down spines of those who were watching it from a distance. And here's where it gets real spooky. After this encounter, the explorers vanished without a trace. The only thing found was their camera, with this being the last recorded video. Pale chase. A drive in the jungle went all wrong when a mischievous humanoid rushed towards the car, desperately wanting to get the drivers. It walked on 2 legs like a human, but was as pale as a zombie. And also, it was so fast! As seen in films, outrunning a zombie is pretty easy, as they generally walk slowly. So this might not be that. Maybe it's a skinwalker. Stay careful, everyone. They are lately increasing significantly in number and can now be seen randomly almost everywhere. Flying man. Somewhere in Africa, this guy performed a magic show and started floating high up in the air without any support. The people all around looked amazed and knelt down to record the unbelievable sight. But I'm so curious, how can that be possible? We have heard that witches levitate like that, but thought that it was just stories and tales. Until now, because this person actually decided to shock us all by not only flying, but also staying in the air for so many minutes. At first, I tried to search for a thin wire, secretly hoping to make sense out of it. But there was no wire at all. Dancing spirits. I have to tell you about something that totally spooked me the first time I saw it. A dancing broom. There were huge brooms in an African jungle filled with fibers and corn husks, all moving around like they're grooving to music. And people around were cheering and enjoying the show. The truth is that if we were there, we wouldn't have believed what was happening. When I did a little digging, I found out that it wasn't a real broom dancing at all. It was actually a talented guy underneath, showcasing his skills. This is some sort of African tradition, and quite popular out there. With that, let's just take the sigh of relief and not be scared of the brooms in our homes. They're not about to start dancing anytime soon. Hide and seek. Prepare yourself, because it's time to play hide and seek with an absolutely outworldly and ghastly creature. It was spotted in the Appalachian Mountains, North America, by a group of friends, and at first they got scared thinking that this alien creature will harm them. But interestingly, something very unexpected happened. It was in a happy mood and just wanted to play a bit with the kind visitors. It constantly hid behind the bushes and then popped its head right up like peekaboo. It's actually good to know that not all strange creatures are out there to hurt us. Some are very playful too. Close encounter. Sometimes the most extraordinary things happen to people in the most unplanned and unimagined ways. A family that went on a trip to the woods for their vacation was taken aback when a tiny, spooky ghost visitor decided to join them. It was exactly like an alien with an oval face, small body, and hollow eyes, just like the ones they saw only in movies before. After a close encounter with such a thing in real, the family realized it was no longer safe to stay there, and they all immediately got their bags packed. Hybrid search. If you say that there's no extraterrestrial life that exists and it's all some made-up myth, you might want to explain this. Residents in Las Vegas reported that there was an alien searching for something in their yards and moving from one home to another. It was quite tall, about 6 to 7 feet in height, and had a skeleton-like body. There was one more suspicious thing about it: its hands. They were like humanoid's claws and were ready to grasp anything near that made it feel threatened. The alien was sensitive to sounds and quickly noticed even the slightest voice it heard nearby. Giant critters. Spiders this giant have found their way out from Australia, and they're now there in your garages, local parks, and backyards. Just kidding. There's nothing. I mean, still, but you never know. This clip, though, warns you all that there are creepy things in this world always snooping on you. And they might come for you at any moment when they like. Just be thankful that they've chosen to stay at a distance and live far, far away, hidden in the darkness. Because if they casually start showing up in random city streets, none of us would be stepping outside our home. Accidental catch. This is why we should totally set up hidden cameras and recorders when exploring the woodlands. After all, we never know what might pop up. Just recently, a group of people had their minds blown when they spotted a dinosaur in one of their recorded videos. It zipped by so fast from one corner to another that no one could get a good look. But they were all convinced it was a velociraptor, straight out of Jurassic Park. Can you imagine the shock? This pure horror became a topic of discussion in the town, and everyone started warning others to stay away from the tall grass. Who knows what else could be hiding out there? Jumping cryptid.
See it at all? That was an ape. That was a goddamn ape.
Exploring jungles and forests isn't always joyful and adventurous. Sometimes it's shocking and frightening as well. Because honestly, there are things going on in those depths that can literally freak us all out. Take this for instance. These men who looked forward to having a good time with Mother Nature were totally petrified when an ape-like alien came in front of them unannounced. It jumped from one tree to another, showing off its crazy tricks to the poor explorers who stood there frozen in fear. The good thing is that there was a safe distance between them, and they managed to escape the place without being caught by this eerie creature.
See it all? That was an ape. That was a goddamn ape.
Spying buddies. It's not only you who likes digging Mother Nature and then going all amazed and shocked when you see eerie, strange creatures. Aliens are now in too. They have also started exploring the world and might also go like, "Oh God, what kind of thing is that? Looks like a disgusting human." See this? A few of them just stopped by while strolling through the Amazon's forest and then spared a moment out to look at children curiously. Not only did they look curious, they were spooked too, as if a group of unannounced guests just came to their home out of the blue. Lunch in river. The calmest waves are also capable of hiding the most dangerous creatures inside. And if you don't believe me, look at this. This man was peacefully boating and hoping to catch a fish for a good family dinner. But nature had planned something else for him. A huge, unidentified snake emerged from the water and took the man for its own lunch. The people who saw it from their own eyes said that it was Nkayamba, the mighty serpent with a horse head. And the scary thing is that it was never caught and still lives there openly, being a threat to humans nearby. Crawling critters. This poor cricket had just laid there lifeless, looking all normal, until something really bizarre happened. Suddenly, a weird spiral creature, kind of like an alien or parasite, grabbed onto it. They were super long and thin, almost like wires, and honestly, no one knew what they were. If you love spaghetti, then you'll be disgusted now, but I'm sorry, I have to spill it out. These long stripes sort of look exactly like that, out of a bowl and onto a cricket. Now imagine for a minute how it would feel if they come out of the screen and start crawling on your back. Jabbafaffy. If you're scared of spiders, this one will definitely keep you up for days and days. A Jabbafaffy was caught on camera, and if you're not familiar with it, let me tell you, it's a Congolese giant spider, but not just some regular spider. It's massive, dangerous, and seriously venomous. So don't take it lightly. Seeing one of those creepy crawlers in the wild is enough to give anyone the chills. Over the years, villagers have reported seeing it multiple times, and they have felt threatened by it. It's the kind of creature that makes everyone double check their surroundings, just in case. The Legless. We talk about jungles and forests and say nothing about snakes and strange legless creatures? No, that's not possible. I know some of you already saw this coming. This enormous snake, almost 30 foot long in length, was found in the woods, and people were terrified to go anywhere close to it. They quickly called for some help, and a crane showed up in time to lift it. It totally looked like a chilling nightmare. See how it squirmed and resisted being carried away? If creatures this startling live in the jungles, then many of us are going to drop the idea of exploring them from now on. Giants of past. If you ever wonder why Congolian rainforests aren't considered safe to visit, here's something that'll help clear things up for you. This strange blue creature was spotted in Congo swamps as it jumped in and out of the water, making all those spooky splashes. People said that it was a Mokele Membi dinosaur. Isn't that crazy? Turns out that it's not the first time someone has seen this thing out there. Locals have been reporting about it since ages. Surprisingly, experts have now started to believe as well that dinosaurs never went extinct in the mighty Congo. So, the chances are high that you'd stumble upon one too if you ever dare to visit it. Human wolf. Ever seen a werewolf outside of a movie? Well, these friends just did. While they were having a blast exploring the jungle, they spotted something big and super spooky. It was a huge creature that looked just like a werewolf from the myths. With claws like a bear, it was holding the trees and its hands looked like a human's. But the rest of it? Totally wild animal. It was as if a human had just shifted into a wolf. The friends were so scared that they had to immediately leave the place before things got any wilder. Witch's curse.
What camera is that on?
Holy.
During a wildlife adventure, a group of experts came across something incredible. A Zanzibar leopard, which was thought to be extinct, found its way towards them. But here's the twist. Locals believe these leopards were sent by witches to curse people. Scary, right? And people in the older times used to hunt them down in order to protect themselves from the threat or curse. Looks like one of those leopards escaped the hunt and is still out there, and it's coming for us. Let's just pray that it stays right where it is.
What camera is that on?
Holy.
Something ghastly. The Congo is not just famous for its mysterious animals and strange sightings, but things creepy beyond that too. For centuries, people have been talking about strange satanic rituals and witchcraft happening in the jungle's hidden spots. Just as this, a guy spotted a freaky figure that bent over a tree. It looked like it was doing some kind of weird custom, or was possessed by a spirit. Some people thought it might be a ghost itself. Anyways, whatever it was, it definitely gave everyone a scare, and the person who just witnessed it himself wouldn't be going to that spot ever again. Yelloweyed. Those two strange yellow eyes blinking at you right now? Believe it or not, those are actually an alien's eyes. It was spotted deep in the dark woods of Congo, and someone managed to capture it on camera. It was the middle of the night, pitch black out there. And honestly, it's probably a good thing that it was so dark. Just imagine coming face to face with a living creature like that, right in the middle of nowhere. That would have been seriously terrifying. So maybe the darkness saved everyone from seeing something they couldn't handle. Caught in 4K. Just the other day, I saw a group of people saying that dragons don't exist. And that's one for them. This mysterious creature was found in Congo too, and it looked like the rarest kind of reptile. Experts said that it was just a turtle, which looked odd because it stood way too close to the camera. But a serious percentage of people disagreed with them. They speculated that it was a dragon, and people in power are just trying to brush off all the proof that shows us that we're not the only ones existing on this planet. Masked spot. Tribal art, ancient sculptures, wooden faces, or possessed statues, call them whatever you want, but when you enter a place as such, you're literally left bewildered. In this one spot in Africa, hundreds and thousands of masks can be seen scattered all over the ground and nailed to trees and walls. Some people call it the perfect place for tourism, while some are so scared that they won't possibly ever visit it. But what are they? Residents say that they sculpt these ritual wood statues in the form of ancestral spirits, and that alone is enough to leave us all sleepless. Dino escape. A person found these giant footprints in a deserted area near the forest and instantly panicked. They were new, they were fresh, and it was quite clear that whatever creature made them was somewhere near. Just looking at the size, it seemed that they belonged to a dinosaur. And it was also easy for him to believe that because many people already warned him of dinosaur sightings in the area. After that, He gave up going any further and escaped the place before the mighty creature returned and caused him any harm. Stuck in Wild. Visiting places full of trees is mostly fun and gives us some peace. But sadly, it wasn't exactly what happened with this unlucky guy. He went for a hike but chose a wild jungle instead of some safe trails. And then what? Of course, he was welcomed by a giant egg-legged critter there, crawling all the way up on one of the trees. And not just any critter, but the spine-tingling Jabbafaffy. He should be glad that the spider was minding its own business and had no interest in diverting its attention towards a human. Or else, we all kind of know what could have happened. Treasure hunt. Here's a golden discovery. People found this mysterious mountain in Congo that was full of gold. Just imagine how lucky and fortunate they were to visit the mountain on that particular day. It seemed like an opportunity itself approached them, and there was no way they were letting it go. So, everyone just rushed off towards the gold and started digging in to get their hands on some precious treasure. The news quickly spread, attracting others to the area, and soon it was filled with a massive crowd with shovels and baskets. The situation was so out of control that authorities had to temporarily ban mining to get things sorted out. Electro Rocks. Nature never fails to surprise us, right? Just when we think we've seen it all, something bizarre pops up. Recently, some gigantic stones were found in the Congo, nearly the size of a gorilla's head. But these weren't just any old rocks, but there was something very special about them. Yeah, you heard that right. These were actually charged stones that showed electric sparks when touched with each other. People were buzzing with excitement. Some even wondered if it was a prank with batteries inside. Scientists, however, were scratching their heads too, because strangely, they didn't find any batteries inside. So it looked like these charged stones were more of a miracle. Whatever the truth, they sure got everyone talking. Spiral Invader. A very unusual organism was caught over the rusted, dried-up leaves in a jungle by a person, and he had no clue what it was. At first, it looked like one whole alien creature, but as he gave it a closer look, it seemed like many small insects like caterpillars bounded together in a spiral to form a long snake-like thing. However, it was just one thought, and it could be something else too. No one knew for sure. The more people looked at it, the more confused they got. Even the experts had no answer about what it was. All they said was that nature's getting wilder and wilder. This creature remains a mystery till date, and no one has been able to identify it yet. Something fishy. In Sydney, Australia, residents bumped into this peculiar fish-like alien while jogging and were absolutely stunned. They poked it with a stick to see if it was alive, and it was breathing. It was so tiny like a mouse and as slimy as a hagfish. Some people shared their opinion that it could be a lizard's embryo, and some said that it appeared to be like a baby squid. Even the biologists couldn't tell with certainty what it was. Let's just admit that Australia is always ready to give us all random surprises and goosebumps. Old Ghost. This unidentified alien looked like it was the spirit of an old man with a broken backbone. It had rather smaller arms as compared to the rest of it. The tall body and thin, long legs was seen in Kentucky. Let me just zoom in for you. Isn't it a little disturbing? That definitely cannot be a human. People think that it was probably a ghost who forgot to turn its invisible mode on while crossing the road. And most of them just wish that the video was clearer enough so that they could recognize it. Nature's clue. It's not a new thing that people started seeing bizarre living things. It has been happening for years and years, probably since the time life started in this universe. Yet people keep denying the existence of those things. In 1992, the same happened when something wild and mythical was seen in the Congo River, and the incident got sudden hype. It was the Mokila Membi. But as days passed, the news started to fade off, and everyone started assuming that it was just a general, regular animal swimming in water. Not to startle anyone, but nature gives us hints before something disastrous is about to happen, and we shouldn't ignore them at any cost. Lovey-dovey. Finally, at least one dinosaur that's not petrifying or vicious, but shockingly too cute to look at. It seems like it came out of fairy tales and cartoons. If all dinosaurs became this pretty and lovey-dovey, we'd start keeping them in our houses like cuddly pets. Now that you've got too excited and happy, let me ruin it for you. This isn't a real one. People say that it's a clone robot made in China. Yeah, come back to reality, because we're not going to see such a pretty reptile anytime soon. Foreign visitors. Most of us have now started to accept that UFOs are real, and there are things going on in this world that are beyond our imagination. Every once in a while, we come across an unidentified object that we failed to trace or identify, but not in our wildest dreams did we think that we'd become so common that we'd start seeing them flying over our heads. This one was spotted in South Africa and was so close that people thought it would land somewhere. The whole thing was just too bizarre and mysterious. Are we going to be invaded by aliens? Because it seems so. Or else, why would they be coming to our world again and again? Living danger. There is one freaky creature that everybody keeps seeing in the jungle, and the tribal people of Congo are now panicking in fear. They claim that a humanoid creature lives among them and appears in front of them, usually at night. It's hard to say what it's like, but it has a little body, hooked claws, ears that pop out of its head like that of a goblin's, and yellow, horrifying eyes. Though the encounters are rare, they are definitely scary enough to alarm each one of them. They say that they're under constant risk as this creature can easily harm them anytime it wants. Open discussion. After hearing that there were a bunch of rumors going on about an alien in the jungle, a group of friends headed there to find the truth by themselves. They were very confident that they wouldn't find anything as such, but were startled when they actually saw an alien's corpse. The blue, breathless, lifeless alien laid there on the ground below a huge tree. They thought they were hallucinating at first, but no, they weren't. More people came by, and everyone was equally horrified. So many questions occupied their minds. Where did this alien come from? What happened to it? They all freaked out, thinking that there might be others like it too, hiding somewhere around them. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.